Alright, look. Hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Hit the notification bell. You understand me? Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Join this Fisk Unit army and get Fisk Unit tough. Alright, look. This video is not clickbait. I repeat, this is not clickbait. This is a serious conversation. This is something that needs to be discussed. And I want credit for this. So y'all go ahead, bookmark this. You save it. You clip it, put it on Twitter and TikTok and whatever. Because I want credit for this. So, we all see the Bills struggling right now, right? Stephon and Josh Allen beefing. Josh Allen got his offensive coordinator fired. Sean McDermott is like the most hated man in the locker room. Like we see what's going on right now, right? They're not even in the playoff picture right now. You know, you could bet like plus 200, plus 250 for them to make the playoffs. If you wanted to bet against them making the playoffs, they're like a $2.50 favorite to not make the playoffs. That's insane. This is a team that was like second and third in Super Bowl odds going into the season. Now you can't even get plus money on them to miss the playoffs. Like this is insane what's going on in Buffalo right now. And they have a top 5 quarterback. So when you look at the contracts of Diggs, you look at the contracts of Von Miller, you look at the contracts of Josh Allen, you have to say to yourself, is there a chance that Buffalo wants to start over? Because their Super Bowl window's over. Like they had their window. They didn't make it. The 13-second game, they didn't make it. They lost to Joe Burrow last year. They can't get past the second round. They had their opportunities and they blew it. You only get a 4, maybe 5-year window with a certain group of players before you got to tear it down and rebuild. And look at the Patriots. The first dynasty looks a hell of a lot different than the dynasty that lost to the Giants. Remember, they still went to the Super Bowl 2 times in 5 years. They just lost to the Giants. And then they had a completely different team when Brady won those 3 Super Bowls versus the Falcons, the Rams, and the Seahawks. That was a completely different team around Brady. Belichick rebuilt that dynasty about 3 or 4 different times. He just kept Brady. So even the most successful dynasties, you have to rebuild it around your best player. Which leads me to Caleb Williams. Now, if you're the Giants, let me ask you, let's really play this out for a second, right? Brian Daboll and Josh Allen are thick as thieves. Josh Allen has never looked as good under any coach than he did with Brian Daboll. Without Brian Daboll, he's a turnover machine. He's Brett Favre. He's Eli Manning. He's Brett Favre. He's a turnover machine. He's Jay Cutler. Let's call it what it is. Without Brian Daboll, he turns into a turnover machine. You know, so under Brian Daboll, he didn't turn the ball over. He was efficient, and that's the best he ever looked. Brian Daboll knew how to call plays for Josh Allen. And if you don't believe me, why do you think Nathaniel Hackett has a job? He knows how to call plays for Aaron Rodgers. Why do you think Josh McDaniels looked so good in New England? He knew how to call plays for Tom Brady. Same thing with Sean Payton. Drew Brees never looked that good at San Diego. Russell Wilson doesn't look that good with Sean Payton, but Sean Payton knew how to call plays for Drew Brees. Sometimes it's not necessarily about how good a player is. It's about how good they work with their coordinator. Look at Matt Ryan, won an MVP under Kyle Shanahan. Never looked that good since. And guess what? Kyle Shanahan offense ain't never looked as good since it had Matt Ryan. It's the best his offense has ever looked. If you're the Giants and you have a choice between Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams is on the board. Are you sure you're not going to call Buffalo and offer them that pick for Josh Allen? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't call Buffalo and say, listen, we know you're about to get rid of Diggs. You know you're trying to get from under Von Miller. You're restarting your process. Let's call it what it is. Buffalo, especially after they missed the playoffs this year, there are going to be hella changes in Buffalo. You sure you don't call Brandon Beane and say you can have Caleb Williams give us Josh Allen? Are you sure that doesn't make sense for both sides? Because if you're Brian Dable, you're like, damn, I get what is Josh Allen, 25, 26? I get a 26, 26, can't be older than 27. I'm sure somebody in the comment section will correct me. But Josh Allen's going to be good, so he's like 35, 36 years old. So you're going to get a good 7, 8 years of Josh Allen. So if you're Brian Dable and Joe Schoen, you can say, you know what? Yeah, we can rebuild around Caleb Williams. Or maybe we could give our second round, one of our seconds in this year's first to Buffalo and take Josh Allen off of their hands. Maybe we do an even bigger blockbuster trade. Maybe we say, hey, Brandon Beane, you can have this year's first and second and next year's first and second, and you give us Diggs and Josh Allen. Giants are going to have about $50 million in cap space. We could take the hit. I mean, we're getting rid of Daniel Jones at the end of the year anyway. After 2024, Daniel Jones comes off the books. All you got to do is give Josh Allen a new contract, give Stephon Diggs a new contract, lower the cap hit, and we off to the races. You got Diggs, Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, a Super Bowl ready quarterback. Caleb Williams, even if he's that guy, even if Caleb Williams is as good as CJ Stroud, he's not going to be ready to compete for a Super Bowl for at least 2 years. I'm not gonna like sit here and say, oh man, Giants got Caleb Williams, let's go to a Super Bowl. No, maybe the playoffs, but you gotta have some experience. You feel me? You gotta go through some stuff. You gotta gain some wisdom and learn the tricks of the trade before I can say, yo, you ready to win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen to the Giants after this colossal failure in Buffalo, it actually makes more sense than us taking Caleb Williams. If the Giants had the first and second pick in the draft, that's worth 3 first rounders, right? That's worth at least 2 or 3 first round picks. If Josh Allen was on the market, open market, he's worth about 2 or 3 first round picks, right? I think the Giants are going to call Buffalo. I'm willing to bet my entire YouTube check. I bet the whole check on the 21st that the Giants, when the Buffalo misses the playoffs and the Giants know where they're picking, whether that's going to be first or second, hopefully the Panthers win the game, Giants get the first pick. You sure? I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar they call Buffalo and ask for Josh Allen. I'm willing to bet. And before you comment on this video, just think about it. Like just stop and think about what I'm saying right now. Think about it for a second. Just really think about like, because some of y'all are quick to comment without thinking. You know what I'm saying? My intro drops, my recruiting pitch drops, and y'all already ready to comment without listening to the video. But really think about this for a second. If you're Brian Dable and Joe Schoen, and you're McDermott and you're Brandon Beane, what makes the most sense for both sides? If you're in Buffalo and you're that front office and you're about to miss the playoffs and you know you got to rebuild, do you want to rebuild around Josh Allen or do you want to rebuild around a rookie? And if you're the Giants and your ass is on the line in 2024, do you want to take your time with a rookie knowing you got a top 5 quarterback in your division, Jalen Hurts? You just call it what it is. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. You got that in your division. You got Dak in your division. If they get Sam Howell offensive line, like what the fuck? You really want to wait for Caleb Williams to develop, or do you want to just get Josh Allen, reunite him with Brian Dable? More than likely, we're going to bring in Ken Dorsey because he just got fired, and recreate Buffalo, but with a better roster. What would you rather do? For both sides. Really think about this. For both sides, would you rather, if you're the Giants, would you would much rather have Josh Allen and win next year and know your job is secure? And if you're Buffalo, do you really want to try this again with Josh Allen, or do you want a fresh start with a rookie quarterback like a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, instead of having to max out Josh Allen again? I really want y'all to think about this. This makes sense for both sides. This really legit makes sense for the Giants, and it makes sense for Buffalo to say, you know what? If you're the Giants, we are pathetic. We're garbage. Why not win next year? Why wait on the rookie to develop when we could go get Josh Allen and compete right now? And if you're Buffalo, it's like, we got to rebuild this damn thing from the ground up. Why not do it with a rookie quarterback instead of paying Josh Allen all this money, knowing we can't afford to win right now? It honestly makes more sense for the Giants to have Josh Allen than the Bills. And it makes more sense for the Bills to have Caleb Williams than the Giants. Really think about this. Before you throw them FUs in the chat and you comment on this video, I want you to think about it for like a good 3 minutes. For like 3 minutes, I just want you to play it out and ask yourself, what do you think makes more sense for both teams? Because the more you think about it, the more Josh Allen to the Giants for that first pick in the draft makes a hell of a lot of sense. They're having player meetings in Buffalo every other day. That locker room is in shambles. Sean McDermott's being drowned out. This is the move, fellas. I'm telling you, book it. They're going to make the call. You're going to hear about this. You're going to hear about this again in the next offseason. Watch. You're going to hear about it. But anyway, throw those FUs in the chat if you rocking with me. My name is Fist Vegas, and I approve this message.